The kids are scared of you, and James doesn't want any drama. We have to respect their feelings. I stared at my mother's message, my hand trembling as I set down my coffee. Scared of me? The aunt who had secretly funded their college education for the last 4 years. My name is Emma Sullivan, and at 38, I had just been uninvited from my niece and nephew's college graduation, the very education I had made possible. The irony would have been laughable if it didn't sting so deeply. 4 years ago, when my brother James lost his job due to company downsizing, I had stepped in anonymously through the university's financial aid offices. His twins, Amy and Michael, had just been accepted to prestigious schools. Without help, their dreams seemed impossible. I remember the day James called, tears in his voice, not asking for help, but needing someone to listen. I failed them, Emma, he cried. They worked so hard, and I can't even give them this. That night, I contacted the universities and arranged to cover their tuition. I had built a stable life, and my investments had grown well. These were my brother's kids, how could I not? Over the years, I watched them thrive from a distance, celebrating their successes through updates from my parents, Amy's research in marine biology, Michael's achievements in computer science. I never told a soul. I wanted them to succeed without feeling indebted. But something had changed. James's wife, Karen, started spreading whispers, painting me as unstable because I chose to live alone and didn't fit her narrow idea of a proper woman. The kids who once adored their Aunt Emma grew distant. I scrolled to my mother's next message. You understand, right? Karen says the kids need positive energy for their special day. Maybe we can send you pictures. Pictures like I was some distant relative instead of the aunt who had invested over $200,000 in their future. The aunt who attended every school play, every sports game until Karen decided I wasn't family material. My father's message arrived. Princess, please don't make this difficult. James is finally getting back on his feet, and the kids are doing well. Let's not stir up trouble. I went to my home office, opening the drawer where I kept every proof of my contributions, payment confirmations, letters from the universities acknowledging the anonymous donor. 4 years of silence, while James and Karen took credit at family dinners, pretending their sacrifices had made college possible. I smiled even when Karen bragged about their financial planning. My phone buzzed. A text from Karen, Emma, I'm glad Mom told you about tomorrow. The kids need stability, and your presence would upset them. I'm sure you understand given your situation. Code 4, single, successful, independent, the traits they considered dangerous. I remembered the whispers at family gatherings, how Karen pulled the kids closer when I approached, as if my independence was contagious. I sat at my computer, fingers hovering over the keyboard. One email to the financial aid office could make everything known, acknowledging my role in their education. But could I handle the fallout? Could I see the looks on their faces when they realized the aunt they pushed away, the unstable aunt, had been their silent benefactor all along? Another message from my mother, Emma, please confirm you won't come. James is worried you might show up anyway. I picked up my phone and made my choice. Sometimes silence isn't golden, it's enabling bad behavior. It was time my family learned the truth about their unstable aunt and the graduation caps she made possible. I arrived at the university an hour before the ceremony, not as a guest, but as a donor attending the pre-ceremony reception. Miss Thompson, the financial aid director, greeted me warmly, unaware of the drama to unfold. Miss Sullivan, we're thrilled you're finally being recognized, she said, handing me a VIP badge. Your generosity has made a huge difference. Both Amy and Michael have been exceptional students. I smiled, taking the badge and savoring the irony. Will the donor acknowledgement be part of the ceremony? I asked. Absolutely. You'll be recognized right before the engineering and science graduates, including your niece and nephew, correct? I nodded, heart racing as I spotted my family entering through another door, my mother, perfectly coiffed, my father, in his finest suit, James and Karen, looking proud yet oblivious. The twins walked ahead, robes crisp and new. Another text from Karen, Emma, security's been notified. Don't make a scene. I glanced at my VIP badge and smiled. Security wouldn't be an issue today. The ceremony began. The dean spoke, the valedictorian addressed the crowd, all leading up to the moment I had both dreaded and anticipated. Miss Thompson approached the podium. Before we begin presenting degrees, we want to recognize a special donor whose generosity has profoundly impacted our university. 4 years ago, this individual stepped forward to fully support 2 of our brightest students. Please welcome Miss Emma Sullivan. Applause erupted, then faltered as confusion rippled through my family. I stood, straightening my jacket, walking to the podium. Karen's face turned pale, James's jaw dropped, my parents froze. Miss Sullivan's generous donation has fully funded the education of 2 exceptional students today, Amy and Michael Crawford. The twins' expressions shifted from confusion to shock. All those years of believing their parents had paid for college, all those times I had been shunned, everything unraveled before hundreds of witnesses. I stepped to the microphone, voice steady. Education has always been important to me. When I saw 2 bright young minds at risk due to financial hardship, I knew I had to help. I chose to remain anonymous because I wanted the spotlight to stay on their achievements, not mine. I avoided looking directly at Amy and Michael, quietly watching with pride as they excelled. Today wasn't about me, it was about their effort, dedication, and the bright future ahead. Congratulations, class of 2025. The applause was deafening, but I barely registered it. My attention was on my family. Karen hid her face in her hands. James stared at the floor, dumbfounded. My parents looked pale, like they'd seen a ghost. The twins, however, looked at me with confusion, gratitude, and a spark of realization. As I returned to my seat, my phone buzzed non-stop. Mom, Emma, why didn't you tell us? Dad, Princess, we had no idea. James, we need to talk. Karen, how could you embarrass us like this? I ignored every message. This moment wasn't about their anger or shame, it was about truth, consequences, and proving to Amy and Michael that their aunt had always been silently on their side. The ceremony went on, but the real story had already unfolded. When Amy and Michael's names were called, they hesitated on stage, glancing toward the VIP section. Amy gave a small wave, Michael nodded. My first acknowledgement from them in years. As the graduates tossed their caps in celebration, I rose, satisfied. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't retaliation, it's revealing who you really are and letting people live with it. Outside, families clustered for photos. My phone kept buzzing. Aunt Susan, you're amazing. Uncle Pete always knew Karen was lying. I lingered on the sidelines, observing my family. Karen waved her arms angrily, her face flushed. James shook his head, stunned. My parents looked uncertain. Then Amy broke free from the group and approached me. Michael hesitated, then followed. Aunt Emma, can we talk? Amy's voice was soft, hesitant. Of course. I led them to a quiet spot beneath a tree. Up close, I saw tears welling in Amy's eyes. Why? Michael asked. Why did you do it? Why didn't you tell us? I inhaled deeply. Because you deserved the chance. I wanted you to focus on your goals, not feel beholden to me. Amy started, Mom said, but faltered, embarrassed by memories of me being labeled unstable. I stepped in. Tell me, did I ever deserve that? Both shook their heads. Memories of birthdays, science fairs, and countless moments I'd been there resurfaced. We should have realized sooner, Michael said softly. Should have questioned why we were told to fear you. You were kids, I said. Trusting your parents is normal. But we're not kids anymore, Amy said firmly. We owe you more than an apology. Karen's sharp voice cut through. Amy, Michael, step away from her. For the first time, neither twin moved. No, Mom, Amy said. We won't let you control our relationship with Aunt Emma anymore. Karen tried to grab Amy's arm, but she pulled free. You manipulated everything, Karen hissed. You embarrassed our family in front of everyone. The only one embarrassed is you, Michael said evenly. You lied about Aunt Emma, made us fear her, while she quietly paved our way. My parents stepped forward. Perhaps we should discuss this at home, my mother suggested. There's nothing to discuss, I said calmly. I chose to help Amy and Michael anonymously to avoid drama. But when I was banned from their graduation, I knew the truth had to come out. James, silent until now, spoke. Emma. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything, I replied. But things will be different now. I won't be the family scapegoat anymore. I won't be sidelined or labeled unstable just because I don't fit Karen's expectations. The twins stood beside me, a simple gesture, but powerful. Karen's face twisted in fury, but Amy interrupted. Mom, Dad, we're having dinner with Aunt Emma tonight. 4 years of catching up, and so many thank yous to say. Michael nodded. Together, we walked away, leaving my stunned family behind. That evening, at my favorite restaurant, Amy and Michael shared college memories, dreams, and their regrets for believing lies about me. We laughed, we cried, and began rebuilding what Karen had tried to destroy. You know, Amy said over dessert, Mom said you were dangerous because you'd influence us to be different. Maybe that's exactly what we needed. Michael added, different is good. Different is what got us through college. Different is what made you strong enough to help us even when everyone else pushed you away. Driving home, my phone buzzed one final time from Dad. Princess, I'm sorry. We should have seen through Karen's lies. We should have protected you. You're the best of us, and we forgot that. I smiled quietly, not responding. Some endings aren't about forgiveness or reconciliation, they're about finding your truth, standing firm, and letting the right people return to you. Amy and Michael had found their way back.